Hello and welcome to the Boise State Esports Arena. You are watching our coverage of the NACE Valorant Spring 2023 season. Over 70 teams are competing across 11 divisions, looking to advance to the bracketed national finals. Boise State is currently in the West Central Division, looking to pick up a win tonight against Kilgore College. My name is Colby Alloway, and I am your host. Greg Smith will be joining me to call all of the Valorant action here tonight. So we also have some very special guests in arena right now, so Boise State's feeling pretty good, really looking to pick up this Week 4 win. What's our record been like the past 3 weeks?
Record's looking okay, but we'd love for it to be better. We just took a slow and painful loss against a college last week, as everybody saw, but the 2 games beforehand went smashingly. I mean, 2-0, so we'd love to keep that record positive and pick up a win in the 4th week.
And there were a little bit of player interviews before the matchup that indicated players are feeling pretty good about this tonight. So we're super excited to get into that. But first, let's take a look at our event. So, as always, it is a 5v5, best of 3, first to 13, and swap after 12 rounds. Very traditional for a NACE Collegiate Valorant, and we do actually also have info that map 1 will be Ascent.
Yep, it typically is. I know that Boise State loves playing on Ascent. It is definitely the map of maps. Very typical. It looks just like the dictionary definition of a Valorant map. So it is an absolute playground for some of our players there. In order to make that a playground, there are a couple of cool rules that are always good to follow in the form of Doc's keys to the game.
Doc's keys to the game in Valorant are to focus angles and flank, know your win condition, count cards, /call abilities, and click heads. And Doc's keys to the game are brought to us by Drop-In Gaming. Drop-In Gaming is the premier online platform for gamers who seek competition. Play your favorite games to win cash and prizes through free and paid entry matches and tournaments. Whether you are new to the scene or a seasoned veteran, Drop-In Gaming has the right games and competition for you. To begin your competitive gaming journey, sign up at dropingaming.com. So what does Ascent really bring to the table? Like, why is Boise State so fond of Ascent? What does it highlight about what Boise State is good at?
It could definitely just be being comfortable on it. I mean, once you played Ascent enough times, and you guys might get a cute little view of Ascent right now, once you've played it enough times, then you're just comfortable playing it more, and it kind of snowballs. And once you've kind of found your home, that could be the way it is. I think also it just being a real blank slate means that it is a display of all the aspects of Valorant, right? You can't cheese just one strat the entire time, because you can always just switch to the other site and run the match in a different set of skills. So it's important to guard the mid with good long shots, and it's important to guard the close hallways that are the entrance to Olive Tree and Olive B and A in the garage with the close gameplay. And there's a lot of utility and a lot of depth in that the mud is lower than the shack, or that we have a heaven and hell. So all the technicality has to be there.
And what agents do you think we might see on this map?
We see pretty typical rollout of agents. I'll try to be loose with it and pretend that I don't see it all coming. A lot of times we like to see a Killjoy here, just because that ultimate range is so good. A lot of times we like to see a Sova. Let's see. Looks like Boise State has opted. Boise State has opted to do that so far. They've also got the Omen, and the Omen is mirrored. We're diving straight into a hot pistol round. We usually see these pistol rounds being pretty fiery, pretty high-paced, just because there's not a lot to lose, and you want to get that upper hand early in the game if you can.
And it looks like Boise State has already taken that up to only against 3 members of Kilgore. Sorry, we'll swap here in a second. And Kai's just going to take the pistol out on Sauce, and then immediately after that, they get a 3-piece onto Spookwagon almost faster than we could swap to them.
Yep, that is a win. Carried by Skies with a 3K for Boise State on the attacking side.
And it's all about just the mechanical play on these pistol rounds, right? It's like, who can click heads better? There is no real difference in guns or anything like that. It just comes down to who can take the shot.
Yeah, no massive gun difference, right? Because you haven't had a lot of cred change, and you can't even push up and buy all of your utility. It's even hard to merit buying full shields that early in the game. So it really is a CSGO of a game, and it comes down to a lot of skill.
Looks like Rihanna's kind of setting up on Boise State, looking to kind of check out both scouts points A and B. Looks like neither team has really found each other just yet. We've got a lot of utility to commit them.
Yeah, Boise State on the attacking side feeling very spread out. It's just kind of touch and go here. J-Bag and all of them with this spike are making this first contact, and that calls the rotation. So we start to see people moving out of that mid zone and start. Beautiful take by J-Bag and Skies clearing out the zone here. Kilgore on the defense. Trying to stay together and not push too early, but it's not enough. Skies plays a bit forward, takes one and moves back out. J-Bag, talk about forward, takes one for free, does get traded, but he's got several behind his back. Walk off that trade.
Not
Look at
quite
him
the
go.
flawless that Boise State was looking for, but yeah, looking good, looking great. Now, round 3 is typically the time where if the enemy has won the past 2 rounds, round 3 is when the eco kind of starts to even out a little bit. Do you think this round will be a little bit more even between Kilgore and Boise State?
I think we can expect Kilgore to take round 3 just because Boise State is going to be bonusing up their weapons that they bought on round 1 for round 2. So they're looking to kind of keep on the end game and focus their creds more towards round 5 and 6. So really, Boise State's just looking to do as much damage here as they can.
Boise State coming in a little bit slower, but there's a full 5 stack on A, and it looks like there's just that defending Omen, so we'll see if Kilgore is ready for just the Boise State, all 5 members to stack A.
That's true. Boise State doing well to check all the corners and move very deliberately here. All of using at the same time. As they start making their way through, the rotation call is made. They catch one for free, Rariana. Capitalize on that kill, and the good position is called out with some util as Evil Ethan starts dumping on him. The plant is already down, and Boise State has not yet taken a hit. It's a little bit of a standstill here. A little bit of a Cold War. The Kilgore College players making their close. It's not enough Daimyo and J-Bag to take their one. Daimyo repeats when J-Bag goes down, and Skies to finish it off with a 5th kill. Near flawless round 3 for Boise State. Not exactly what I had anticipated. It's looking smooth so far.
Wow, that's a lot of damage. They're going to need Click Safe to patch that hole. Boise State came in just looking to deal damage and did that to the entirety of Kilgore's team. So what does this mean for Boise State future rounds?
I mean, Boise State future rounds, it's interesting because they haven't been cornered into one playstyle yet. We saw them take a round on one site slowly, and we've seen them do the same fast. We've also seen them do it with full guns and with eco. So they've really showed themselves off in just 3 rounds. They've kind of done it all. Now we're going to be on the B site, though, so we can see if that is a big damaging factor. And if it is, that will change the game. So Skies to take the first one. Wagon. Skies now just feeling a little fiery. Trying to take some distance shots against the Rabbit. He's going to call in some backup, and they come in clutch. Daimyo to take one. And look at the space that they've absolutely just swelled to fill B site here.
You know, it looks like now they're chasing down the remaining members, kind of holding their angles, waiting for them to come to them. And it looks like Aldim's just going to get a 2-piece for an amazing flank. And then it looks like KJ is going to take out Aldim, who unfortunately is the price, but Boise State is up 3 at this point, and they're just going to take point without ever having to deal with the spike on B.
Yeah, KJS does slowly get hunted down, and I'm feeling a kind of relaxed play coming from Boise State. They've got what it takes, and they are off to at least a good start, a good jumping off point. So hunting down the final players isn't something that we need to do, but it's something that we can do to secure extra creds, to make sure no guns get into the next round, and it's just extra damaging. So Boise State is going in here on, going in for the kill when they send in nasty flanks like that and end up trading themselves just to hunt down this last person.
And it looks like Kilgore's defense is set up pretty evenly across all the points. Boise State's attack, however, is very heavily B-centered as we're going to look around this corner. We see a lot of utility connected. Ooh, some shots exchanged. The smoke is just going to completely block Sky's vision. He can't see anything. Just going to spray and pray, get a little bit of damage, and it's Spook Wagon instead that will take out Rihanna, putting Boise State down 1 for the first time this entire series. Now even if J-Bag is going to get the counter elimination onto Spook Wagon, they know they're looking through that doorway.
Kilgore, this is their first threatening round that we've seen. They're starting to move in slowly, but they've got to move with the position. Oh, unbelievable. J-Bag taking a goes through the walls there. Absolutely clinical tracing here, and he goes in for a 3rd headshot for a 4th kill. Almost an ace by J-Bag if it weren't for the Speedwagon reference earlier in the match, taking one down early.
And it looks like at this point Boise State's feeling pretty good. We're going to watch the replay of Boise State's approach onto B site. We see KJS take down Daimyo again, just off screen, but immediately after that, we're going to see some Omen action here pretty quickly in the kill feed. Actually, it looks like it's J-Bag with the double kill, and Aldim just coming in with the third, winning the Omen deal.
J-Bag just surgical. I mean, nose to the crosshair. He looks like he's just playing around a Kovacs to warm up. We see State now moving in on B with one to actually prank a little bit. Dropping that utility, didn't get all of Kilgore to rotate fast enough. They are counting the footsteps. Kilgore's playing correctly. There just might not be as quick as Boise State. Boise State's taking the center for the first time this game and is using it to rotate through trees. They're not beating a dead horse anywhere. They're keeping it fresh and they're trying new things every round, even though they don't need to. Just being unpredictable. Aldum going melee with the op.
Sky takes a little bit too much space there, but J-Bag is immediately going to even things out with the elimination onto Spoogwagon, leaving both teams 4 and 4. Ririana's going to go ahead and get the plant all the way back on the backside of B site, and it looks like the fight is kind of happening halfway between B and A. Both of these teams looking for corners to peek, and immediately after that, J-Bag's going to get the triple kill, and the quad Daimyo comes in just to put their name in the kill feed.
And quite honestly, Daimyo, I mean, he was just in a bad position. There's simply nothing to rotate to. That doorway is kind of a pain to hit, and once you do get through that doorway, it's not like you can go around the corner. It's open season. If I was stuck in Daimyo's position, it would not be looking good, but he fended off against 4 of them, and not just fended off, but took them all down. They've been close to aces every time here. So the only thing Daimyo had to keep him alive was someone at his back, holding the double swing. And then that was just to space people out. I mean, they have failsafe after failsafe here that keeps them in these precarious positions and still damaging.
The best defense is a good offense. Boise State is perfectly exemplifying this. As we, looks like we're 5 stacking onto A stack. We see some ultimates committed a little bit. It looks like Boise State, ooh, J-Bag's gonna just hit more shots than Evil Ethan. And Ethan's gonna go down. We see J-Bag kind of creeping through the smoke. Gotta check your corners. Gonna make sure to take that Omen out, but it goes down themselves as well. Looks like Daimyo's gonna be credit for the kill, and with the spike planted, now things really get interesting. As Daimyo gets the res on the J-Bag, but immediately after that, KJS and eliminations on Boise State, sending us 2-1.
Ooh, people are getting domed, and Kilgore is taking ground. KJS to find one more. Daimyo, the last alive. He's proved himself in earlier rounds, and if he can wait just 3 more seconds, Util's back online. He has to push, and he finds it.
That Jet had so weak HP, it was just a dream. Daimyo turns the corner, puts a single shot into their thigh there, and then that's the end of it.
Expertly done. Daimyo proven his worth. Kilgore College now loaded with utility and ultimates. Would love to dump some of these here. Boise State has only pulled 2 so far, the knives and the KO last round. If Boise State can expect a big ult wave from Kilgore, they may have to reply some.
It looks like we see a little bit of a split push here, or at least number 6 is just kind of scouting things out over on mid. We see Rubiana looking to see what there is to see on B site, but it looks like the main fight is going to happen halfway between the two. As we see Jet dash in with the smoke, not able to find any heads just yet, but Rubiana sure can, and Evil Ethan's going to take down J-Bag, but that's a small price to pay. Up 1 currently in fight. Now still up 1 is just the remaining members are going to trade, and it looks like that Jet is weak.
You should run.
Needs to come in and breathe on her.
Ooh, not quite the range. Daimyo points out to us that he is still in a playground here and can vibe in the mud as long as he wants. As the attack from Killjoy goes down for Boise State. Pushing everybody off-site. Kilgore, 2 players remain, and what a distance shot. KJS slowly proving themselves. Starting to take kill after kill. Could be a turnaround point for Kilgore. As we see Evil Ethan dropping their ult to try to push in, but the clock is running. All of them to take one onto KJS disrespectfully. Knifing the top fragger. That's scandalous. Evil Ethan mows down all of them, but they're not worried. Rariana knows the spike has got a low timer, and even though they're playing through the paper.
Ooh! Evil Ethan with the triple kill. Ends up going down though. I think Boise State had a little bit too much fun with that round. I mean, we saw the knife, and then we saw the approach on the end. Evil Ethan definitely punished them for
This
that.
seems
So
like
good on
the
Kilgore.
right amount of fun.
I guess they did win in the end.
They did, yeah, you know, scoreboard rules all.
And Boise State 8-0 as we go into this next round. We're kind of closing in on the swap here. And we see Boise State can kind of commit to a full buy, whereas Kilgore still can't.
something interesting here. Not just the kills, but the spread of the kills. It looks like Kilgore is looking for more frags from their top player. And if Boise State can get KJS either out of confrontation or off the map entirely, they're in a comfortable position.
See the close-up of these guys there as they kind of use Jet dash to get in, Jet dash to take the high ground, do a little bit of spraying and praying into the smoke, doesn't find anything just yet, but knows that they're going to have to approach from that high point. Rihanna also kind of sends the turret up there. Daimyo just waiting on a corner, holding an angle with the Sova arrow.
Daimyo knows the map well and does a good job just to play people away. Skies held, waiting for any kind of mark. Ultimate is the fake a jump away, and because of it takes two. One background to defend the home turf. KJS is walled in. A beautiful finisher from Skies, and that's a flawless 9th round, looking for double digits.
So as we kind of go in, what is the biggest problem that Kilgore is having?
Biggest problem that Kilgore is having? That's a tough one. I don't know if I could totally narrow it down. I feel like, I will say they're doing some things right. They have correctly recognized when the rotation is real and when it's not, because we've seen Boise State on 2 or 3 occasions throw the suppress early here and try to bait a rotation. It didn't happen. Kilgore seems to wait for each other and come in together. That's also a nice point. I guess it might just be down to gunplay.
Boise State and Kilgore haven't quite found each other yet. We see the Omen smoke committed, and then some damage coming into Daimyo from behind there, but ultimately not enough to get that elimination. We can see most of the members of Boise State are marked here as we kind of approach point A. Kilgore is going to back up and wait for reinforcements as 2, 3 of their members are going to be taken down. And even as KJS gets Rihanna, I don't know if they can carry hard enough to come back from this 5v4 or 1v4.
Absolutely impressive. What a flank guard. Daimyo! I didn't even see it happen. That was beautiful.
Gotta put some respect on KJS's name, though. They got the knife kill when they were down 1v4, and sometimes that's all you can do.
Definitely some impressive plays happening there. Taking out Rariana. Rariana was there just to be the thorn in the side, though. I mean, several flanks were trying to come around from Kilgore, but they were playing a little bit loose because they didn't expect the Sentinel to be there. And he was, and totally took out, was it 2 members before going down to the knives? And then knives couldn't be on site because they were too busy dealing with some Sentinel that was on site.
Ooh.
Guys with a first down from Evil J-Back going to defend the name, flying, just spraying. It's going to shut down the door and get all of them a free plant.
Patiently holding that corner there, and then we see, once again, Kilgore's looking in for away from that high ground. It looks like that Omen smoke's off. That might put a little bit of a wrench in Boise State's plan. But as that clear, Boise State has clear sight lines onto the heads as soon as Kilgore decides to peek from high ground.
Boise State has no fears here. They've been playing just...
Ooh, maybe a little fear.
They've been playing very clean, dropping that smoke in the same place each time, making sure to only take trades. Daimyo to find that down. Spookwagon to reply. They do have a good hold on the heavy here. But they've got to get this last player out of here. They want to defuse.
One enemy remaining.
Defuse is almost in. Goes in with the shoddy.
Oh, no! This is Boise State losing
losing their donut. That's a tough
their
one.
11th round. 2 Kilgore with a Killjoy with barely a sliver of HP in it. But this actually might be what Kilgore needs to kind of come back. We saw that they were able to pick up a couple guns over there. Of course, Boise State definitely at this point has the creds to kind of re-buy that.
Yep, those creds are about to go away. This is the last round before the swap, and who knows how Kilgore plays with the attacking side.
Oh, we see Rihanna shoot an equal amount of headshots to Evil Ethan almost there, and then immediately after that, Aldem's going to take down KJS, but then lose to the Killjoy on point. Just hold on, let me just stop the defuse a minute. I got to pop somebody, and then we can go ahead and win.
Yeah, it could take a little bit of time. He wouldn't have saved him either as he already had the half. So that was a tough situation in Kilgore, taking that first point. Attacker Killjoy facilitating the intro here as Skies tries to make his way from smoke to smoke to shut the front door. Rariana backed by Skies, and J-Bag is able to continue setting up the situation. Look at that lockdown, dare I say.
Ooh, big blast gonna come out from KJS, excuse me, right onto J-Bag, just almost at point blank range. That point it almost seems overkill, and then immediately after that, Rihanna is gonna go down, and this is the other 4v1. So at this point, Aldim's just trying to do damage. There's one, there's two. What else can we get out of this? Gonna come from high ground. There's three. Are we gonna come up with the clutch? KJS versus Aldim. This is the duel of the century right now. Right before the swap in the snow. Ooh, is Aldim gonna be able to find him out?
Ooh! Unbelievable. KJS takes it with the classic, but it's not enough time to defuse. Boise State knew the win con, and J-Bag knew that he played forward. He might take the kill, and he might not. But if he did neither, he'd take the win.
He takes the win. Love that. That's our first clutch that we've seen so far, and immediately right before the switch here.
Absolutely crazy. Rariana was not able to provide any assistance earlier in this skirmish because he was setting up all of the util. And as soon as he goes down, there's nothing that's been invested into the site, and Aldem has to run it by himself. But calling it into the smoke with the shorty is unreal, and you don't want to walk into that smoke when you know he's got the shorty. So they were trying to flank all the corners, but went low on time.
It looks like kind of as we set up here, 1 to 11. Boise State is looking like they're setting up for a full B push, but we do have Aldem over there scouting A, seeing what we can see, dropping the smoke, kind of making them think that we're going to go over there, and it looks like Boise State hasn't quite decided what they want to do. They're waiting for Aldem to rotate, and Aldem just decides, I'll come at you with a pistol. Rihanna and J-Bag are going to get some elimination. The Sky is going to go down. This is leaving Boise State and Kilgore pretty even on the board here right now, with both robots very weak.
Yeah, it feels a little bit tight. They do have a good flank set up if he can get in for it, but he's going to give it a little bit of time just in case that retreat comes out. Catch them off guard. Otherwise, Boise State just holding tight against the doors. They wouldn't dare. J-Bag, that flank, sure enough, it did. Holding the distance flank and letting them walk into it. Daimyo takes a knife for a finish, bringing it to 12 points. Kilgore has no mistakes left to make. They've got to play their best game here if they want to see anything other than a 13-1.
And it looks like so we're going to watch this replay right now. We see the pistol. We know Evil Ethan knows that they're there. They're just waiting for the flank, waiting for the robot to rotate all the way around. And then they didn't check behind them. The first kill comes out, the second kill comes out, and nobody had time to turn around.
Boise State looking to close this game and save some power. Ooh, KJS with the Marshall to find Rariana in mid. A dangerous place to be standing. Skies plays forward and is going to shut down. At this point, the win con has changed. They can't rotate anywhere. KJS has to get the spike back. It's their only option. Skies goes ballistic and takes every angle for himself. Daimyo with the 360 to finish the game as J-Bag takes it in another neck of the woods.
And I know we're a little bit ahead of the player of the game discussion, but I definitely want to put some honor on Aldem's name there for getting our only clutch this round so far, as well as getting a significant number of eliminations just all the time, which you usually don't see from your Omen. Usually you expect the Jet to go in there and get all the eliminations, but I'm sorry to say, Aldem didn't leave a whole lot left for the rest of Boise State crew.
Yeah, considering the potential for flank on this site, you might even see the Sentinel come close to a top frag, but the controller, I mean, he did really well and got some brilliant 4Ks, even from, I think, round 2. We saw some crazy gameplay there, so we'll have a good highlight reel at the end of the match, if nothing else.
Aldem with the gunplay. Are there any maps that you'd like to see for map 1 that you think would really kind of help Boise State cinch this victory against Kilgore College?
They're definitely close. So it sounds like they want to be playing on Fracture, which is interesting. I wonder if that's a Kilgore call, because Fracture's not a map that we have seen very many times. We did get to see it, I believe, last week or the week before, and I don't think it went stunningly. So we're just going to jump right on into the next match and see how it goes. But Fracture picks could be Breach is pretty typical, playing through the walls there. We could definitely see Neon playing nice and fast there as well. And Brimstone smokes are a good thing to have. Some people like to play the Cypher on this map. We did get to see Cypher last week on Fracture. There's some interesting cam placements. So we'll see what the players are feeling as far as how they want to approach this, because it's a very, very different map. I mean, we got to see one of the OG maps, one of the Easy 3. And now this Pokeball of a front door, back door, side door situation where it's just one of the new map feels. The devs kind of want that ease of rotation to be in there in these new maps. It's so easy to get from A to B on the new style of maps, and it could be a place that Kilgore excels. So hopefully they chose this because they can excel, and we see a more even game, a more fairly fought game, more of the second half. Because if Boise State played on the defense to finish the match, I believe that means they play the defense to begin this one.
And Boise State's defense was pretty solid. We didn't get to see a lot of it, so we're looking to kind of see what tactics Boise State pulls out on defense, because most of what we saw them excel at was offense entirely.
And they didn't really give us a taste of the defense. I mean,
Not really.
They played offensively in that defense position anyways. I mean, it was even confusing seeing them push so far up onto A and then take a 1v1 and then style with it for a crazy flank there near the finish. So that's definitely something we might see here, as the offense is very freeform to where you can start. There's 4 different doors you could see the offense beginning at. Diving right into the round. Evil Ethan, Jay Swain, the Sauce God, Spookwagon, KJS, and Cisneros, which we didn't see a lot of play, but now they're going to be on the Cypher, which could be a pivotal position. Rariana back in the Cypher as well, and that Brim Neon Breach that I foretold earlier on. A good trio to play on Fracture, and a typical pick from Boise State when it is cornered into playing Fracture.
What does Neon bring to the table over the Jet?
Neon over the Jet, it's interesting because without saying what does Neon bring to the table, I would say that Jet brings mobility to the table, but that is the entire package of Neon. I think Neon's choice over Jet here is just the synergy that's found with Breach and Brim. I mean, Breach is easy to play through the walls, and it is so nice to see Breach and Brim and Neon all playing together on Fracture because it is such high mobility. You can see Brim throw down the Stim Beacon, and that's been a combo pack since Neon's release. So we're going to have a little technical pause here as we iron out all the kinks and get on into the map. But you looking forward to this one? What are you looking to see a change-wise from Kilgore College?
So I don't know that I really want to suggest changes for Kilgore College, but what I'm most excited to see from Boise State is patience on the defense. That's what I'm looking for, because we got to see a lot of hyper-aggressive run into the enemy team, just play guns better and just get the kills. And that's all well and good. We love to see that. We love building out these highlight reels. But something else that Boise State is very capable of is patiently holding their angles and waiting. And we got to see a little bit of it with the cross-map flank and just the waiting for the right opportunity to kind of go on them while their backs were turned. But especially with Boise State starting defense, I'm expecting a little bit more patient play, and I love to see that. I love to know that Boise State, while they can just hold W and go into the enemy team, click the heads, they also have the ability to wait and calculate.
Yeah, we definitely saw some really dynamic play sprinkled in there with the rest of the game, as sometimes they would play very deliberately. They would play surgically, and we would see them in a SWAT team setup where they'd tap backs and check corners, and one person would go off and someone else would be watching them. On those A-site entries, B-site entry was always just guns a-blazing, and I'd love to see them have that dynamacy over the map, considering that there are so many entry points here. But we see Big KC go against the Broncos now. That beautiful zipline sound that we will have to get used to hearing as underneath the island and past the Fracture's hull, as we see Cypher Zero from Boise State riding right along Rariana. He's going to be the only one on the southern side of the map, or at least he's flirting with the idea of it could be dropping some cams.
And it actually looks like Boise State is maybe on attack first here as we kind of see people zipping back and forth between the two spawns.
Yes, it definitely looks that way. Looks like sure enough, he was just dropping off the car and they're back to the northern side, looking for a dish into the skies. Just flying in with the frenzy, so apropos to the game style play. He's gonna move. Just dry peeks onto the other half of the site. They're feeling loose from the last game, and they've got to tighten that up. KJS to take 2 with the ghost from a distance. Daimyo now has got to protect himself on the spike down. Taking his first point could be a massive snowball for his team. So it's important to secure it now that you're into the second half of the round. Sorry, all the cards are shown. Daimyo to take another from the headshot. Getting in a little mid-round spray.
Just barely couldn't finish him off with the reload, and we hear the no in the background as players have to stop the elimination. Reload for a little bit. Sky's almost going to clean things up with a double kill on, and now Daimyo going to take the triple kill. Okay.
To see Skies with the the 2-swipe 360. You got your your sense nice and low. That's a funny one to see. Hopefully we get to see that. Here as he does a little sight check all around himself.
Do a little bit, and then I think this was the moment where they're like, oh no, had to reload, and then immediately waited for the peek, and as soon as the Cypher peeked, it was immediately just guys taking them out, and then immediately after that, it was KJS, which seems to be definitely the carry for Kilgore. I do want to put some respect on their name. They're losing quite badly, but they're routinely getting eliminations and being a thorn in Boise State's side.
Cannot find this tripwire, finally takes it and has to join the pack now. Sprinting, knife in hand, back up to be the last little duckling. J-Bag and Poe back on site. Watching well, Aldum running into the plant. J-Bag gonna take another angle from above. Neon, speaking of other angles, just comes creeping in, and look at this. Ooh, a little bit of a self-flash. We didn't quite get the angle there, maybe some extra abject geometry making that bounce difficult. KJS alive and kicking to find one more, but on the wildest 2-for-1 J-Bag. He's able to take him out, no problem.
So usually round 3 is when we expect Kilgore to flip it, but Boise State was actually able to completely subvert that and just continue rolling from round 3 on. So Kilgore is going to be looking to try to maybe play a little bit more passively, wait for Boise State to come into them and try to pick them off one by one, as they should.
It's definitely an option, and it's never something that you want to do because it feels like you're down and it's because you're not playing enough. And it feels like to hang back and sit in a corner and just cut the side in half and just wait. Feels like you're not making the effort, but it's how the game has to play it. So let's see if Kilgore can jump that mental block. And like you're saying, just wait for this approach. Daimyo pushes one out, doesn't quite find the kill.
Go.
Starts moving on in. Rariana to find one. Cisneros on the fly for his first and second kill of the map. Speedwagon finding there too. Boise State, whatever they did this round, it was not the right take. Kilgore, like you're saying, is playing it casually here and is finding this round 3 win as they're slated to do so. Daimyo just looking to make some damage before going out. Takes the surprise. A good flick for it, but now they know where it's at. They know what the timing's like. KJS not quite finding that off shot. Hiding just barely in the corner. It's going to smoke himself out, but the breach comes in and Spookwagon to find a 3K with that C through the walls. And it's a round 1 for Kilgore. And look at this ratio. 2-1, you would have never guessed last round played out the way it did. So hopefully this game is a bit smoother journey for Kilgore. Hopefully Boise State is able to find what makes it tick.
So we know that round 3 is usually when things swap. What about round 4? You mentioned earlier that maybe rounds 5 and 6 would go back to Boise State, but that kind of just leaves round 4 up to the gunplay, or
yeah,
what's
it definitely depends on what their what their creds are slated like and how much damage Boise State was able to do last round. But they did a significant amount, which means they took some decent creds. But here we see Rariana with only an eye on Sheriff, the best Sheriff in the game, but still he's depending on headshots here. He's only able to find a chest there, all of them to find one, but he's such low health. Boise State, 3.5 players left against Kilgore 4. And they just keep flirting with this one doorway. You have to be careful because things can start closing in as we see Evil Evening backed by Cisneros and KJS. Position on Cisneros starts to close. J-Back has to play around the side. Right on the underneath, gets jumped on. All to find their one to KJS from a distance with that round 4 op. Really smashing the piggy bank.
State 2-2 with Kilgore right now. It looks like Aldim's going for the long haul, the big long rotation there, and it looks like Kilgore's kind of coming through main, seeing what they can do, rotating from point A to point B. We expect kind of these hallways to be this next fight location. Aldim, unfortunately, couldn't take that out in time, and then immediately KJS is going to take him down, leaving this 2v1. With 8 HP and a dream, we're going to around and trying to do damage.
Oh, Cisneros is at home, and those tripwires have been absolutely fatal. I mean, after Aldum tried to alt-fire this rope, it did not go well, and he just got caught off guard. Kilgore now bringing it up to a 2v2. Boise State, they're going to start playing dirty. Cisneros dropping another cheeky tripwire. Easy to jump over, but they don't queue till you're a bit closer to him. So if you're not looking for him, you might not find him. Boise State clearly is not super comfortable with the mechanics of the Moroccan man on this map.
It looks like Kilgore currently has the ultimate advantage and tied up with Boise State right now. We're expecting maybe a couple of those to come out.
On the live feed, Rariana has decided to use somebody else to do his viewing. Here's the Neon Dark City has come out and, wow, absolutely taken down by Spookwagon. What a turnaround. Kilgore coming alive on this map. Daimyo to take Cisneros. Try to hold this position.
I think the Cypher was what Kilgore was really looking for, because that feels like it's been a very, even though they're eliminated right now, it feels like that's been a very impactful member, especially as we kind of go and think about last round. Daimyo looking to go through this smoke, actually knows he's there.
Look at that tracing.
The placement of the gun.
KJS did have a good wait for Daimyo, but exactly what the body looks like in the wall. It was able to trace that barrel back to the head. That's just hours of the game. Look at all those bullets just flying. What a spray and pray is able to get through and get the spike. WinCon has changed. Kilgore may still be sitting on top of that spike, hoping that those 36 seconds won't be enough to rotate to A, but he's already made up his mind. And the knife walk.
30 seconds left.
He's
combination.
just standing there, menacingly.
Ooh. Trying to Spookwagon, but look at that. You cannot walk when you have the angle disadvantage. Spookwagon was just further from the angle. You have to run. Otherwise, as we saw here, Rariana's shoulder was seen before he had the chance, and he was taken down, even though that that reaction time was quite a bit slow by the Kilgore defender. He just had the angle advantage and was able to find it. Now a little bit of a split from Boise State as they slowly trickle their way across the ropes.
This goes here.
Kilgore still sitting on all of his ultimates, but Boise State is matching them ult for ult right now. So we didn't see any last round. It kind of just ended up being a limb for a limb, but maybe this round can be the determinant factor, especially because Boise State is down. Ooh, and Sky's getting picked first is not a good omen for this next push.
It feels like KJS didn't have their warm-up before the match started, and now they're just feeling a little bit warmer. All them taking space like he should, very procedurally. The flash comes back, and they smoke off that space, making it difficult to find that point. That's enough time for rotation that they know it's going to be a thicket, even if they can get through that smoke. So their own rotation has to come out. They're considering the ropes. They're considering going long. If they do fly across those ropes, this tripwire is kind of wasted, and it's loud, and it takes a while to get to the other side. So one last player, Rariana, hanging out on the A side.
See what damage they can do on the Cypher. They're being walked on by 3, so knows they need to get out, but maybe not going to be able to find the way out. J-Bag and Daimyo are going to trade. Cypher for Cypher there. Spookwagon is going to eliminate Aldim, and it looks like Boise State is 2-4. That's not looking good for the home team here.
Yeah,
30 seconds left.
Absolute
Cage
bushwhack that happened down there. They got totally ambushed and weren't able to hold it together. But now a return to A site. Look at this, clear as day. Everybody's gone. The concert hall day after the festival.
Plants him. Just looking to plant in that corner there.
Last
46 HP in a dream. We're going to see if they can get out. And it looks like they're just targeted by the sun, as Spookwagon is going to go ahead and take them down and get the defuse.
A tricky part about planting the corner, and good of them to realize they can just dump util and take it for free. Because there was it was 300 creds for plant. Other than that, did not take any space for that round. And it's looking tough. Kilgore up 4v2 on points. And last round was a full buy, so Boise State probably looking eco here.
You can just see the unfortunate kind of, you see the Rolling Thunder scout him out, and then just as if Apollo himself rains down, you see the focus and immediately just take Daimyo out. Knows he can't get out of that corner, still tries anyway.
Moving on in past the Dusty Dish, try to get this time faster. Oh, Neon doesn't check the corner all the way. Is able to come back around for it and find some bullet, but not enough. It's right above.
Eagle-eyed.
Rariana, though, absolutely smooth. Finds a great use for this incredibly situational ult and gets the location pings. J-Back now using that to pace this one out. Trying to dump this Rolling Thunder right onto Cisneros. But it's too slow. Daimyo finds it first.
Enemy remaining.
He's going to get the elimination onto Evil Ethan. J-Back, Boise State winning. We really needed to kind of win this round and try to even things out. Now we're 4-3 going into next round. And though it was a thrifty victory is still a victory. And we're trying to even this.
And what a bonus, too. Anyone who went down now has the opportunity to buy something fancy like this op that Roriana's holding on to. A Sentinel with the op, we love to see it, but usually if you're planning on having a Sentinel and op, oh, Daimyo telling him to go home. Daimyo thinks that he's got this one in the bag. Let's see if he is just talk or if he can close this one up.
Looks like Boise State is casually approaching split push. Right now we have 3 and 2. They're kind of closing in on B site with the Cypher looking A.
Yeah, and this is the largest division and push that we've seen so far, and they're not even comfortable with it. We already see the Spike making a rotation over past the tripwire A site. And Kilgore still just dividing the map. Boise State hasn't made their decision yet, but they don't have to. They've still got 65 seconds to choose their own adventure as they start to move in here towards the Sauce God. Skies starts speeding things up. It's going to drop the fast lane. Alden now covering their utility in from the other side. Skies to find 2 amidst the chaos, and Daimyo going in for a plant in it. Corner.
KJS is going to take down J-Back, while Aljim is going to take down KJS. A pretty reasonable trade. 3-4. Now we just got to take down the man in the hat. This is Spy v Spy right now, and it looks like the White Hats are unfortunately going to go down for Kilgore.
Sky's so close to a ace there. We still haven't seen any aces yet, but Skies did get a beautiful couple seconds of gameplay. And I mean, amidst that all feeling fast, he knows when to stop and hold. You don't want to walk into a Hail Mary, you know, lead storm, but if you can pace them out and they don't have the sense to kind of jiggle shoot, Spookwagon totally got caught on the reload here, trying to turn and run. And Skies does it again, just coming from above down onto Cisneros when he knows from a teammate where that crosshair is pointed. So just good technical plays is sprinkled all throughout this high-paced gameplay coming from Skies.
Ooh, KJS is immediately going to take down Skies. That's not looking too good for Boise State as we look for a way in on B. It looks like the spike is initiated. The spike's been planted. Ooh, poor Robot's going to go down to the spy man in the hat there. We're going to see J-Back go down as well. Now this is just Boise State 2v5 trying to see what damage they can do. And unfortunately for Rihanna, that's not a whole lot of damage. So it's all just up to Daimyo as the last member standing. They're not going to get a lot of value either. It looks like Spookwagon is going to get the defuse. And Kilgore is going to go up 5 to Boise State's flawless.
Cisneros let him plant. I think it was Alden that was getting the plant, and I don't know if we have that on replay, but he was going in for the plant, and there was someone right behind him, and I thought, oh, Cisneros is totally going to pop right here and then sit on top of the spike. But he let him plant and then took him out immediately after so that he could go in for an early round defuse and just cut things off early. It did get delayed a little bit, but I think Boise State isn't totally respecting Kilgore here. I mean, Kilgore does know what they're talking about. They are playing pretty well, and they're starting to take things back. It's 5-4 now. And Cisneros totally, I mean, from bottom frag, took, as far as I'm concerned, took that round on a solo.
And I think Kilgore, the comfort of the map that they're playing on currently speaks to them. They know their rotations. They're able to get exactly where they need to be and when they need to be there, and they're often able to catch Boise State out trying to get from point A to point B.
Boise State playing together now, staying wary of the door to keep decibels low. Skies then drop again that ult. It feels like it's back every round. Skies gets so many kills, it's on cooldown. He's playing this. And uses that fast lane to totally drop into sight, and we see Daimyo in his favorite little corner getting that plant in for sure. Boise State now swelling to fill the area. He is going to go down to Evil Ethan. Alden looking for a reply as they swing out onto Cisneros, trying to get rid of this thorn in the side. It's a 1-for-1 trade, which does look fantastic. They attack the side. As the defenders closing in, J-Back with a good flash is able to find one, but it's only a trade. Position is not looking good as now there are players between the spike and Boise State. Rariana trying to just play through the smoke here with Evil Ethan despite his low health.
Big.
Defuse.
Now that we're even, we're going to see what damage Skies can do. They know they're in the corridor, and it's looking directly into that op. That's a big gun. You can't afford to peek that, but unfortunately, you can't afford to leave the spike there either.
KJS out villain on the op, and there's just less excitement coming from the stage. Boise State has gotten buckled down and turned this around. They have the potential, and we've seen them absolutely slaughterhouse this situation, but they don't want to see this go to a third game if they don't have to. 2 points down, nearing the half mark. We can still look for a fair half, an even half, as we change to, as we change attack versus defense side, and maybe this is just a defense-sided enough map that it makes a difference. But Boise State has to secure these last 2 rounds to do so now. Already down on creds.
And it looks like Boise State is also down on ultimates, and we're kind of expecting those to get popped these next couple of rounds, because once the half comes, you use them or lose them. And with KJS getting the first elimination on this guy, making them a trade, that's not bad. Rihanna winning the Spy v Spy battle. KJS still being a menace, though, on that long sight line. And they're going to take down All Dim as well, because Boise State still down one. And the 2 important members for Kilgore are still up, the members with the ultimates. We see Rihanna kind of back up into this hallway, back up into the safety of a team member in J-Bag. They're just looking for Spokewagon's head right now over the top of those stairs.
J-Bag being menacing against Spookwagon here, even throwing some dry fires just to be
a menace.
The intimidation.
Just
defense.
standing there, menacingly.
Boise State making that rotation after the northern attack on to B did not go well, and now Kilgore is able to take that space, and they are just chilling at the top of the ropes. So much space taken by Kilgore. They own almost all the map except for what Boise State is standing on. So Boise State is going to really have to buckle down on this approach to A and find these kills.
They've got a little patch of grass over in that bottom right-hand corner there as they try to rotate on A site. We see Daimyo's presence detected by Evil Ethan, but unfortunately that door is going to stop any eliminations coming out. We see J-Bag initiating the spike plant. This is good for Boise State here. It's going to force Kilgore to come to them. Daimyo anticipates this, gets the elimination onto Evil Ethan. We see the full plant come out. Now, spike, this is a totally different game. A Spookwagon takes out Daimyo, but J-Bag is immediately going to take the back for it, and now it's just Boise State seeing what they can do as the final member on point. Half HP versus full HP.
Excellent precision here. A 1v1, and it is no problem. Look at that timer tick. He's feeling great coming around the other side. Saucecott going in for the hold, and it's a knifer for the clutch. Rariana.
I always play high stakes.
Second clutch of the round. Going to go over to Rihanna for. So now we've had All Dim clutch, we've had Rihanna clutch, and Boise State really needed that clutch. Now we are 6 and 5.
And Rariana taking the clutch with the gun would have given him the point, but taking it with the knife
gives you the moral victory
message.
too.
It's the moral it is the shutdown. It's telling them, no, we're coming back. Thanks for keeping our seat warm, but that's our throne. Boise State looking to take this last round against Kilgore in the half, moving up to a nice, clean 0-0 on the defense for this map. And look at this, he's jumping with his skies, is ready to take his sight back, feeling hot.
Gonna drop highway, kind of send us straight through main there. We see Skies kind of helping the rest of Boise State in onto site. It looks like point A has just kind of become a battleground right now. J-Bag is gonna take back Evil Ethan. Kilgore now has had the time to kind of rotate off, giving Boise State some space. J-Bag is unfortunately gonna get vaporized. And then immediately after that, Skies and Rihanna are going to pick up some eliminations, putting us 4-2. Boise State has a pretty clean advantage here to tie things up.
What a turnaround to have the guts for Boise State to really take this site blind amidst all the chaos. Daimyo's so close to dropping his ult, and it doesn't happen. That's a game changer. With using an ult to having a down. Rariana now having to hold things together, but it's all right. Only one player left. They can definitely close in on this last player. The bald Cypher throwing me for a loop every single time.
Be at least a little bit careful. Ooh, Skies was just a little bit too much in the periphery for the remaining member of Kilgore to kind of be able to see them. So as we switch sides, Boise State, I think, is more of a favored attack team, so this will be pretty interesting seeing what happens at the switch with both of these teams tied. 0-0 with some complications.
Yeah, they'll have to loosen up, drink their water, calm down.
Touch some grass.
Touch some grass, get in that defense mindset. But you can also not. You can just spin it on an attack situation, you know, where everybody 5 camps A or B and then give them a free other site and then go in with a post plant. And then you're basically attacking again. And if you're comfortable in 5v5, then that's viable.
And especially because you know where you need to be. You don't need to play any funny angles or anything. You just hold B site or you hold A site, and then immediately after that, you have a pretty cut and dry plan. Ooh, and it looks like Skies is just going to cha-cha slide right into the enemy and immediately get Evil Ethan. But unfortunately, Trade, Spookwagon actually going to put Kilgore up 1 here as they take down Ribrianna, but Alden's going to even things out. 3-on-3, and that Jet is looking weak as it goes 3-on-2, 3-on-1. This is looking more and more unwinnable for Kilgore the more allies fall.
It just looked like so many German Shepherds herding the sheep in as we had a train of players running them down from the north side and one person waiting for their demise. And sure enough, when they turned the corner, they got the cleanest classic kill and then dodged right out of the doorway. It just did not look good for Kilgore. And I think we got 3 system messages of spike down. I mean, people kept scrambling for the spike.
Ooh! Unfortunately going to miss those first couple of shots, but Daimyo doesn't. And it looks like we kind of do a little bit of a triumphant wiggle there, as Boise State is now up 1 for, I think, the first time this map.
Yeah, Boise State. Momentum feels good. It feels right. They took 2 in a row. They switched. They took another one. They're slated to take this one with the gun up advantage. And Daimyo's even feeling long distance. Aldem decided to go with that fast-paced gun, the Bulldog, and give up some shields for it. And look at the util he's gotten instead. So Daimyo's looking to really play this round as well. Mariana goes, sets up the entire kit all on B site. They leave it to himself. It's going to be tough here. He's got to watch that peripheral.
Got the live feed here on production. Ooh, he sees him shoot the corner, and then immediately Ribrianna knows that they're coming through B site. And you see the remaining members of Boise State rotate. And it looks like as they rotate through the top, Ribrianna just spraying and praying, takes out their MVP. Looking good for Boise State.
Unreal.
Immediately after that gets the elimination onto Evil Ethan. Aldem is going to take down Cisneros. And then Boise State now, like sharks smelling blood in the water. They just corner them and push.
That was worst case scenario. I mean, they wanted to see the approach on A, but they were so ready to, at the drop of a pin, rotate fast. And you could see, I mean, Ribrianna just dealt with it well. Recognized that they were there, shot the dart, and didn't position offensively, but positioned very defensively. Would have let them have the plant and just got out of the way and took some spray and pray. And amidst the spray and pray, just now 2 for 3. 1 through their smoke and 1 through his own. Unreal. And 1 onto the top fragger. KJS out of the round, and someone can take his gun, but he finds a second one while Aldem comes in, and it's a final mow down. As Spookwagon gets the plant, but he's right on top of his +1, and Ribrianna finds the 4K for the round.
Boise State now up 2, looking to make a comeback.
This time, Boise State a little bit more evenly positioned as they put someone a little bit further down.
Taking shots and taking names. Boise State currently up 1, but we got KJS down. Ooh, Spookwagon is going to kind of even things out, but they take a lot of damage for it. This is a 3v3.
3v3 with damage indeed, but look at that. J-Bag to take a distance shot onto Cisneros with a gun that is not rated for distance. So that's a fun one. Ribrianna now watching from above. J-Bag's little guardian.
Camera spot. That's the camera spot that let them rotate to point B and let Ribrianna get one of the best plays of the night, actually. Aldem is going to take down Spookwagon, and at this point it's 3-on-1. Boise State's going to take that round and go up 3, 6-9.
Nice. Good crossfire, good sight control. They didn't have to go anywhere. People were just walking into sight lines. Boise State has it back under control and is feeling good here and is ready to mid-round spray the whole game.
That goes there.
Looks like Boise State's setting up a little bit on B site right now. We expect at least the Cypher utility seems like it's maybe going to be committed to B site. We're not quite sure just yet.
Biting at the walls there. You know Boise State's feeling a high-paced round to do that. Coming in on the like 10-second flank, he's already seen some people as Neon makes their rounds, and it does not feel comfortable playing attack on defense on A. Since Narrows does take Skies, it's not a great position, but Rarian is able to reply. Gets that ult out, and I don't think he knows there's a second one. So KJS takes one for free and is not on the turnaround. Kilgore totally took them by surprise there, which is strange because Boise State was the one playing something strange. So Kilgore, good positioning, was just able to turn around and find the kill.
Boise State still up 2, so still a very winnable margin for Boise State. And Kilgore can't really. They're trying to mount a comeback right now. 7-9. It's definitely still winnable for them. But once they take, if they take this round, it's going to be up to Boise State to kind of turn things around after that.
Boise State would love to get in the double digits. That's kind of where things change for Kilgore. Crossing that double-digit mark means that Kilgore doesn't have the chance to play anything cheeky anymore. I mean, this is their last chance to really make a mistake and play risky.
It looks like Skies is kind of holding the angle. We're going to wait. See them. Wait to be the corner. Ooh, going to win the battle of the snipers against KJS. That is Boise State up 1. You got to think that's a pretty good omen for them getting into the double digits here. We see the laser focus on the gamer faces. Skies looks for this next elimination. Knows he's there.
Yeah, look at that. Just knows to the crosshair. He knows he has the angle advantage. He's moving nice and slowly. He's letting Jay back in. And he finds it, one to the neck.
Spike down, B.
Ready for the next one.
That's 3.
Right to the bullet. Goes melee with it and isn't ready for that back to be there. So Sauce God makes it a 2v1 trade, bringing Kilgore. Oh, the dinks. J-Bag can take one from a distance. And now they're on top of the spike. All they can do is wait.
It looks like that poor Cypher for Kilgore is just trying to run to the point and see what damage they can do to Boise State right now.
They may be able to make a little bit of damage. Their util is all out, though. So they've got one Phantom. Oh, it's not enough. The only Phantom just couldn't save either. Rariana to take another one, bringing them up to 10v7. Stone Cold Faces, they love to close this round off. Just 3 more points. Boise State's record will be looking near flawless.
Kilgore can't afford to do anything cheeky. They can't afford to make any mistakes here. Boise State still has a little bit of room to do whatever they want, kind of experiment, see what strategies work and what strategies don't. And it looks like right now there's a little bit of a split between team members, as Kilgore is going to do the same thing. Leave the Cypher with the spike and everybody else go top.
Kilgore's probably going to be taking this round very seriously.
Ooh, that's super serious, going up 2 immediately. Boise State now on the back foot. As J-Bag is unfortunately going to get caught out in the corner. The remaining 2 members that just weren't there on side A are now having to rotate to see what they can do. We see some dust storms being kicked up. We see Aldem on Robot kind of navigating through the smoke very carefully, see what they can do. As Cisneros is going to go ahead and plant.
Spike planted.
Come out. Now we're in the post plant. Aldem's going to get 1 elimination, but 4 on 2's not looking good for Boise State.
All it needs 1 takes a shot. That's it. Nice. Just being menacing, but it might not be enough. He is going to find 1,
2
but
on 3.
they just took this round
2
too
on
seriously.
2.
He finds another anyways.
1
Goes
enemy
melee with the off, almost gets it, but the knives are too much.
Oh no! Kilgore with the knives.
Now, before they bought, they had enough credits to buy, and they weren't buying. They were discussing, they were talking. And before they did anything for themselves, Kilgore discussed with each other, what do we have? What can we make of this round? Where are we going? Then they all bought at the same time. They all crossed the ropes at the same time. They set the utility where it needs to be. This is the precision play that Kilgore needs to be playing with, and it's the precision play that got them the round. I mean, it got them to a position where they were able to hold down a round, and after this 2-peak, even though Aldem took the one in the back, KJS was fast enough on the knives to make it happen. They put their top player in the most protected position so they could put the nail in the coffin. I mean, if Kilgore keeps playing precise like this and keeps thinking ahead of time, like it's obvious they did for that round, they might be able to turn something around here. But Boise State can feel it coming, and they're replying appropriately.
Boise State currently down 1. We're looking to maybe get the ultimate. Ooh, J-Bag is going to get the double. Ooh, maybe the triple? No, not the triple, but not the quad, as Evil Eagle's going to take down J-Bag. 3 on 2, though. It's looking in Boise State's favor here. A Spook Wagon just tickling. And it looks like Ririon is going to go ahead and take down Spook Wagon, but they're going to lose Daimyo in the process, putting this down to a 2-on-1.
But look at all the time loss, and he's decided to let him have the spike. It's going to take so much time to get this spike because Kilgore just can't quite get to it. Kilgore's even considering not getting the spike. Maybe they tapped out on accident. Maybe they're looking for some audio cues. I'm not sure what Kilgore's doing.
Cage triggered.
Yeah, he's foregone the spike and is moving around. He's gambled that Boise State would be moving to B. Maybe it's a
30
save?
seconds left.
You can't save at 8-10 with... He's got the ult. Is he going to try it alone?
Find out.
Ooh.
Well,
Tries to move
whatever
silent
plans
on
he
site.
had, Boise State put a stop to them.
It could have been, he thought he had so much time it was going to be a full rotate around to grab the spike from the other side, but that's just crazy.
It's a lot of ground to walk in 30 seconds.
Kilgore had what I think was an incredible round and then lost that momentum as Boise State was able to narrow things down with a brilliant game of whack-a-mole by, I believe it was J-Bag that took 3 in a row before finally falling.
Oh yeah, they all just peeked in the
Look
same
at
corner.
him, yeah.
Just shooting in the same place, crosshairs right at head level, and then eventually the menace finally gets taken down, but not before taking most of Kilgore with them.
Jiggle P King, he's doing well. Rariana really fine-tuning the setup here, keeping it fresh with the utility, make sure they don't know what's coming towards them. And Kilgore with a spike in pocket, absolutely aggressive here. J-Bag feeling hot on the mouse, change hands.
Looks like Boise State currently 5 versus 3, 5 versus 2, as Skies is going to go ahead and make the long shot. We see Ririana just kind
One
of
enemy
scouting
remaining.
things out. Point B.
And last man alive in Speedwagon. Tries for it, but it's just not
Daimyo
there.
just hits more shots.
Match point.
Boise State's feeling pretty good, coming off of a flawless defender victory, and then immediately after that, we're at match point. Kilgore cannot afford to make any more mistakes. We're expecting at least one of their ultimates to be used here, and Boise State is definitely going to have laser focus on those agents that have their ultimates to stop them from making moves before they can even do anything.
Boise State relishing in 3 halves the points that Kilgore has. Kilgore has to find 5 in a row, and we haven't seen momentum shift like that from either team. Playing high pressure and high speed, Skies rolling right around, taxing Rariana to the site. Oh, almost takes it there, but it's just not going to be. Swinging on it, the 2 can't have it, and look at that aerial shot. J-Bag and all the playing dirty.
Spike
Moving
planted.
back onto site from the wrong side. What a turnaround. Are good to just dump all of their utility in to clear this out. Boise State looking to clear their name after a loss last week. Know that if they can find these last 2 Ks.
One enemy remaining.
Gets him in the same spot that the knife happened. Now this is a one-on-one with a little bit of a complicated robot kind of thrown in the situation there. Will Boise State be able to get them back up? J-Bag knows where he's coming from, and unfortunately, the Sauce God just hits more shots. Boise State's going to lose that round.
Unreal.
Still at match point, though.
He was close, though. He played a good game, hitting the spike and then moving off of it and going close. But Kilgore didn't let up, even though they heard the sound, didn't freak out, and found the point 9-12. And Boise State really gave that one their all. I think they ult jumped right there at the end and threw 2 into the wind. And a good response by Kilgore to use that ult to get rid of the robot, whether or not they had any chance against the living player.
See lots of utility being set up point B, as it has been for the past several rounds.
Daimyo just wants to see the end of it. Takes the close angle and jumps out. Thinks they might be long. Sees the platform short though. Can't quite hold it. Was a little bit too far forward, a little overextended. And Evil Ethan able to find one before going down. And the Sauce God to grab another as leverage off contact. Now Skies being one of the last to hold this point. Rariana has seen this one before, and the bushes are preventing him from seeing this. It's a tricky cam spot, and they may even be able to shoot it down in a second.
Looks like they're approaching B. Boise State, I think, has kind of predicted that they're rotating. We see some tiptoes in that direction. Ririana has surely called out that they're falling, and then Ririana is going to fall back, but instead falls right back into the enemy team, is able to get the first elimination. Will they be able to get the second? No, not quite. The remaining 2 members of Boise State are up against 3 of Kilgore as we're approaching from the top and bottom.
He was so close to getting that note of that ping, that map site, that vision.
2. Gets the flash, and then immediately after that gets the double kill. Aldim with the triple kill, hopefully going to be able to defuse the spikes here, has plenty of time.
Well done. We can already see Boise State players standing on
Defenders
up as
win.
that is game. Another 2-0 on the history.
And with week 4 of NACE kind of comfortably in Boise State's pocket, that's more the record that we're looking for, 2-0.
Definitely so. And I mean, just to recap what this means, if Boise State in their little bracket of 8 finds placement number 1, then they get a free invitation to the next stage and won't have to play for it. So we'd love to see them continue on that way.
So now it's time to kind of bring up the player of the game discussion. Is there anybody that immediately comes to your mind?
I mean, I think Sky's performance was incredible. We saw some crazy hold downs from Ariana. We definitely saw, I think, J-Bag pop off the most. I think my elect would be J-Bag.
All right, so if you're going to go with J-Bag, I think I'll stick to my guns and say I want to see Aldim highlighted as a player of the game. They're not somebody that typically gets it, but I think especially with their performance on map 1, they definitely deserve to be highlighted as the player of the game.
Daimyo, not trying to ignore your name. We saw
That's
some
true.
excellent play there as well. Really, all the Boise State players got their time to shine here as they held the positions that they needed to, and we saw different places on the map get attacked differently.
And you can always say that when Boise State 2-0s. I mean, it's clear that, like,
Everybody was present.
Yes, everybody's present, everybody's putting in work, everybody's got a pretty significant highlight reel at the end. And actually, it's going to be one of the players that we didn't talk about, Rihanna, as your Idaho Central Credit Union player of the game. And the player of the game is brought to you by Idaho Central Credit Union, who believes a great player makes a team more successful, just like Idaho Central's helping members achieve financial success. Rihanna is the Idaho Central Credit Union player of the game and a fantastic defensive sentinel. I loved watching the live feed defense of that point B, especially on map 2.
And it's crazy with the limited practice that he's actually had on Cypher, how well he pulled this all together. I mean, you would look at it and think that he had played for years on this.
I feel like they gave him player of the game. Just the triple kill knife to the back sends a message. It sends a message when it happens. It sends a message when it's player of the game. Rihanna's going to go ahead and pick up KJS. And then immediately after that, through his own smoke, through the enemy smoke, it doesn't matter. Rihanna's bullets have homing targets on the enemy team there. And we saw a pretty dominantly Boise State matchup first map. And then second map was much more even. So do you kind of have any final thoughts after we watched a pretty significant playstyle difference between these two teams? We got to see a lot.
I would honestly say don't neglect your warm-up. I mean, if you are feeling like warm and comfortable and ready to go on map 1, then it is a world of a difference, and that uphill battle goes away, and you can actually use that time in the very beginning to not just be getting comfortable with you and the machine and your teammates, but focus entirely on getting comfortable with your enemy.
And that's kind of, that is a little bit at KJS. I mean, we saw KJS just pop off second map. Got to put some honor on the name on that jet. Did a fantastic job. We just would have loved to have seen more of that map 1 too. And with that, we have the top 5 plays, which are presented by the Idaho Army National Guard, who invites you to take your impressive critical thinking skills into real time. With more than 10 jobs offering a $20,000 bonus and your degree of choice paid for, the Idaho Army National Guard is the best team out there. From all of us here at Boise State, thank you for joining us in arena and on stream, and we're looking pretty good week 4, hoping to bring it home again week 5.
Touch and go here. J-Bag and Alden with the spike are making this first contact, and that calls the rotation. So we start to see people moving out of that mid zone and start. Beautiful take by J-Bag and Skies, clearing out the zone here. Kilgore on the defense, trying to stay together and not.
Just almost at point blank range. That point, it almost seems overkill, and then immediately after that, Rihanna's going to go down, and this is the other 4v1. So at this point, Alden's just trying to do damage. There's 1, there's 2. What else can we get out of this? Can we come from high ground? There's 3. Are we going to come up with the clutch? KJS versus Alden. This is the duel of the century right now. Right before the swap, he's going to take the back for it, and now it's just Boise State seeing what they can do as the final member on point. Half HP versus full HP.
Excellent decision here. 1v1, and it is no
problem. Look at that timer tick. He's feeling great coming around the other side. Saucecott going into the hold, and it's a knifer.
Oh, to the Rihanna knows that they're coming through B site. You see the remaining members of Boise State rotate. And it looks like as they rotate through the top, Rihanna's just spraying and praying, takes out their MVP. Looking good for Boise State.
Unreal.
Immediately after that gets the elimination onto Evil Ethan. Aldim is going to take down Cisneros. And then Boise State now like...
So close to getting that note, if that ping, that map site, that vision.
Gets the flash, and then immediately after that gets the double kill. Aldim with the triple kill, hopefully going to be able to defuse the spike here, has plenty of time.
Well done in our